Hola, hola, everybody. Heart Pirates TCG here. This is not a clickbait video. I definitely think this is the best crocodile deck in the entire world. It is the most unique crocodile deck in the entire world, and it plays very, very well into a lot of the best decks in the format. In fact, the only deck that can give this deck a whole lot of problems is purple Luffy, and if Sokka draws out of its mind, it can definitely beat it. But other than that, this deck has beaten Cat easily. It's beaten Enel easily. It's beaten Sakazuki easily. Obviously, you know, if they don't draw like the nuts. And what I want to talk to you about is I'm going to show you the matches after this too. I'm going to show you like maybe like two matches of me playing it. But what I want to talk about is why this deck is so different. And the reason it's different is because it's not playing the Baroque Works engine. So those of you guys who know, the Baroque Works engine is made for Crocodile, of course. The problem is all of the cards are pretty much incredibly subpar except for two of them, which is why, you know, don't quote me on this, but I think we're only playing two Baroque Works cards, and I'll show you that in the deck. But this deck is so powerful when it comes to cycling. You gain so much life. You actually gain more life than Enel. There was a game I played today in a tournament that I had total 10 life. So you know, Enel, obviously, you're not doing all of his life all the time. Like, you know, his leader effect life is only really going to, like, hit one time. And then, obviously, he probably gets, like, maybe 1 or 2 life from Yamato and then Katakuri. This deck can literally gain... This deck can probably gain, like, 12, 13 life, you know, depending on how long the game goes out. So, you know, or I'm sorry, be at 12 to 13 total life when everything's said and done. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you the deck, and I'm super excited to show you the matches along with the deck. So as always though, guys, if you guys want to purchase one of these playmats, just hit me up on Discord. We are temporarily selling them on Discord until our website launches at the end of this month. So, all right, so the deck list, we're going to get started off with the very first spicy card. It is Pagaya. Those of you guys who don't know what Pagaya is, you're like, what is that? Let me focus this camera real quick. Whoop. There you go. So what he does is once per turn, during any player's turn, when a trigger is activated, you are going to draw 2 and trash 2. The cycle behind this is so good. Let me try to focus this one more time because this is driving me crazy. All right, we're gonna. It's about as good as it can get. It's about as good as it can get. But so the cycle behind this, guys, is absolutely nuts. I can't tell you how many times that, you know, a deck, especially like Enel or even Katakuri that doesn't really have a lot of removal, would have to literally like Thunderbolt this or like Gadatsu this, because I'm just gaining so much value. Not only am I triggering on my turn, but if I'm playing against another yellow deck or another deck that triggers in general, like Queen or the Mirror Match or Katakuri or Enel or anything that triggers, I am it's not so plussing, but it's like being able to cycle your hand, and it's a free, basically, Sabo effect. It's just free cycle, and with this deck, you play a lot of dead cards, so, you know, being able to cycle with this card is just absolutely fantastic. I'm playing it at 3. You could very well play it at 4. This is such an important card of the deck that you might be able to play 4. I'll tell you what I would take out in this video for a 4th copy, because it is that good. Then obviously we're playing 4 Miss All Sunday. This card is just absolutely insane. It is a free body on the board. It is a free ramp card, and draw if you do get it in the mid to late game, and it's just really powerful. Obviously it turns on your crocodile effect too. And we are playing, instead of the Sanji, we're playing 4 Brule. And the reason we're playing 4 Brule is because we don't like to discard cards when we don't have to. The discarded card, like the dead cards that we are going to discard, are going to come from the Pagaya or maybe even Queen. And it's just not, I don't like discarding. This is the same thing as Sanji, except for it can't attack. But we have so many big bodies that we're not really worried about a 5k attacker when it comes to, you know, negging a card. This is literally, you have to attack into it to even Houndblaze it, or you have to use an event card to get it down to Houndblaze range. So if you get this, it is very, very good, even, or just as good as Sanji in my opinion. And then we are playing 4 Queens. I would take out one of these. Honestly, this card, I don't think I played this at all, although it is there for a good reason. I didn't play a single one of these pretty much at all in these games. but it's a good card in general. It's a +1 and it's a 6k blocker, so I like it when, you know, I have the use to play it, but a lot of times you're just playing top end and just like countering out with like events. But you could very well play this card. You could change this for something else too. I would cut one of these for Pagaya if you did want to play for Pagaya, and then honestly you can cut every single one of these probably for some cards I'll show you later on today. But then for the events, we're playing 4 Blast Breath and then 2 El Thor. It's just 6 copies of Rad Beam that work with your leader effect. Of course, if you Blast Breath, you get a Dawn back with your leader effect, and then obviously if you still have that Dawn, then you can just El Thor. So you can Blast Breath El Thor all for 1 Dawn, and that is +8 in counter. It's just really powerful. Another huge thing too, guys, is when you're able to just like Blast Breath without any like repercussion, right? So like a lot of times, like I'll have like a body on the board that they really need to take out, and like it's causing them a lot of pressure, and they'll swing into it and I'll just free Blast Breath out of it. It's like, it's so, oh my god, it's so good. So good. So those are 6 events right there, but I'm playing 3 more, and those are 3 Soul Pocuses. Wow, you're like, Soul Pocus, what the hell are you doing? Guys, this card is redonkulous in certain matchups, guys. Like, the thing is, the problem with Soul Pocus, it's always been a problem where, you know, if it was in your hand, you never want to activate it. Well, one, if I go first, which I want to do anyway, and I don't see the Miss All Sunday, this is perfectly fine to be able to go first. They're either trashing their life or they're giving me an extra life so I can trigger into more stuff. And if I draw it and I don't want to activate it, I can pitch it off Pagaya, I can pitch it off Croc's effect, I can pitch it off the Queen discard. There's just so many outlets to be able to get this card out of your hand when you don't need it, and it's just really powerful when it triggers, and when it doesn't trigger, it's a free discard. So I think it's really, really strong. And we're playing a 1 of Shirahoshi. You could very well play 2 of these if you want to, you know, just to have even more cycle power, but I do like the 1 of Shirahoshi. You could play probably 2 of these. Honestly, you could really cut Queen for like maybe 2, like 1 or 2 more Shirahoshi, and then 1 more card that I will show you in a second that is really powerful. But for our 2Ks, we're playing 4 Miss Doublefinger, we're playing 4 Capone, and we are playing 4 Satori. 12 trigger 2Ks. All of these cards work obviously in tandem with Pagaya, and all do very good things in their own right. The Capone wins games. The Satori can be a body that can trigger. The Miss Doublefinger can be a body that can trigger. And it also can ramp you a card if you want to, you know, pitch a dead card, like for example pitching the Soul Pocus or pitching you know, one of your other dead cards. It is just really, really powerful. 12 trigger blockers, just really good. This deck is very defensive, but it's also very good at keeping up with aggro, which is why this is actually our win condition into Katakuri, because we're playing 2 Rush Katakuri and we're playing 3 Rush Enel. I got both of these today against a Katakuri player, and it was just game over. Like, not only did I trigger Miss All Sunday first life, which is just unbelievable, right? But then on curve, since I won the dice roll, I played Katakuri, double swung 5/5/6, and then the next turn, I was able to go, I was actually at 6 Dawn, but the next turn I was able to just go super aggressive and wide and technically tall and wide with this Miss All Sunday, my leader, and I was just able to gain so much tempo. And then obviously when he got rid of those cards, I was able to play a Russian Nell that stuck on the board for forever, followed up by a ton of life gain. So if you wanted to, guys, you could take out Queen. For an extra Pagaya, you can play an extra Rush Katakuri, play 3 and 3 of the Rush characters, and then you can play like, you know, an extra Shirahoshi if you want to. So those are 3 cards you can take out. You can bump Shirahoshi to 3, or you can bump Rush Katakuri to 4. It just doesn't matter. I prefer to go first though. But this is a really good going second card, and also with at 5 Dawn you can still play this as well, if you find this is like actually just better than Miss All Sunday and you need to keep up with the tempo. So that's that right there. And then for obviously the big guys, we are only playing 8 truthfully big characters. We're playing 4 and 4, which will get you a total of, if you get all 4 or all 8 of these, a total of 8 life. So you will be a 12 life leader, and if they Soul Pocus and give you life, you will be a what is it called? 15 life leader. So that is the deck right there. I think this deck is not only very unique, but it is very powerful, and I will show you all the matchups that I was talking about on this video, and just kind of show you how it worked out, because I'm really liking this deck, and I think it actually is a tier 1 contender if it's played correctly, and if you also, you know, just run hot. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you the matches. All right. So I ended up going 3-1 in this tournament. I only lost to an Enel, which I super hard bricked, but I am going to show you this game right here. It's going to just showcase just how good this deck can be into some of the best decks in the game. And Katakuri right now is obviously one of the best decks in the game. So he starts out, I win the dice roll, I go second. This deck can go either way, but obviously if I'm going against Katakuri, I want to basically not let them get their curve. So I get second. And he plays Pudding, gets a Big Mom. I go second and get a Pagaya. And if you guys don't know what he does, is anything time the trigger happens, I draw 2, trash 2 once per turn. So it can be on his turn or it can be on my turn, which is going to be really relevant because I'm going to get a lot of cards that I really need in this matchup. So he's going to go 9 at life here. He's going to put a card at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and take my life, and I'm going to be like, damn, look at that. I'm going to go ahead and trigger a Miss All Sunday. I'm going to get Miss All Sunday's effect to ramp, and I'm going to get Crocodile's effect to ramp 1 active. Then I'm going to draw 2, and I'm going to trash 2. And I think I'm going to go ahead and trash the Elthor and a Shirahoshi, I believe it is. So then I go to 4 Dawn, which is absolutely massive. And since I'm at 3 life, I can just swing 5, see what he does, see what he's going to give me. He's going to go ahead and give me, I believe, a 1k counter, right? So, yep, it gives me a Brûlé right there, and then I swing 5 again. And he goes ahead and takes it. No trigger, unless there is a trigger. He's debating the trigger too. He's like, damn, I really am going to have to use this. So he goes ahead and triggers. I go ahead and draw 2, trash 2. So I just discarded Brûlé and a Soul Pocus. Easy cards to trigger, and then I play Rush Katakuri. I see a beige at the top of my life, and I put that at the bottom, and I swing 6, and he takes it. So I'm already in a very good position here, guys. Very good position. And, yeah, the cycle is huge. The cycle is absolutely huge. I mean, you guys can see right now that the what's it called? The cycle's already big. So he goes and plays an Amande and rests the Pagaya. He doesn't want me to get too much value. Then he goes and swings 8 at the Miss All Sunday, and I debate keeping it, but I'm like, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm gonna let it go. Like, I'm already in a pretty good spot. And then he debates using the Sanji, and then he just passes. I think that's the right play, especially because he doesn't have a lot of counter hand from I think what he told me, or just honestly from what it felt like playing the game. It looked like he kind of told a little bit that he didn't have a lot of counter just by his mannerisms. So I go ahead and swing 6 at life here, and he goes ahead and takes it. That's not good at all. And then he goes ahead and gets a Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi's gonna draw 3, trash 2. So he's off to a pretty good start. He's got a what do you get? A Sanji off life, and then he got a Shirahoshi off life, so pretty good start for him. Although I will say my Miss All Sunday start was a little bit better into this matchup because it's just, oh man, not only was the body huge, but the draw 2, trash 2 was massive. So I go ahead and swing 9 at life here and the reason I swung 9 at life is because I didn't want him to keep that Sanji on the board, and I knew he was going to block that. He wasn't going to go down to 1 life, and then I go ahead and just pass with 2 Dawn up, representing, it could be a Blast Breath, it could be an Elthor, but it's a Blast Breath here. I love how you can just Blast Breath for free with this deck. It feels fantastic. So he goes ahead and plays another Pudding, searches a Parasparrow. If he wants to play the Parasparrow, he's going to have to swing 9 at my Katakuri, and if he does that, it's an easy Blast Breath out. So he's going to swing 9, he's going to look at his top life, he's going to leave it there, and I'm just Blast Breath, and then gain it back with the Croc, and he plays the Paro, and then he passes. So this is where things start to get epic. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and swing 6 at his life, just to see what he's going to do. He's going to go ahead and 2k counter out of that from what I believe, right? So you're going to give me that? No, he's going to take it, and then he's going to Thunderbolt the Katakuri. So I'm going to swing 5 at life here. He's going to discard the Pudding as a counter, and then I'm going to swing 7 at life here, and he is going to go ahead and take his last life, and it's a trigger, another Sanji. So he's had 3 triggers of his 5 life. So pretty good start, but this deck's tempo just, I don't know, man. It can really, really mess you up with the Rush Katakuri and the Enels. And this is why I like this Enels better than the 7 Mom, because it just feels like I have so much pressure and he can't get it off the board. So he's gonna swing 5 at life here, and I'm gonna go ahead and 2k counter out. And then he's gonna swing 7 at life here, and I believe I'm just gonna take this one right here. He's gonna look at mine, he's gonna put it at the bottom, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it, no trigger, and he's gonna go ahead and play a what is it called? A Katakuri put his Shirahoshi back on top of his life and go about his merry way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I debate for a second, but I'm going to swing 7 at life first. He's going to block it. And then I'm just going to swing 7 right here. And he's just going to take it. Nope, he's going to counter out of this. My fault, guys. And I just play a Crocodile and go back very safely to 3 life. And I pass my turn. And now the Enel has no way of getting off the board because I can just trash my own life and I have so much counter in hand. And the Big Mom's not going to make too much of a difference unless it's a trigger. So he's going to swing 5 at life. I'm going to go ahead and discard a Queen. He's going to swing 5 at life here. I'm going to use Croc's effect. Croc's going to allow me to ramp. Then I'm going to discard, I believe I discarded 2K here because I thought depending if you trigger something, I'll just go play another Croc. So I think I discard, I discard a Satori here actually, and I go ahead and take it. And then I ended up playing, triggering Beige and targeting his his Katakuri, and then he passes. And 1 card in hand, pretty easy math to do. I swing 7 at life here. He goes ahead and takes it, no trigger at all. And then obviously it's just a 9 at life, and obviously the math is the GG's right there. So that was against Katakuri, a pretty meta deck. I'm going to show you against a less meta deck, but a really good player in his own right, and his name is Mark, and he's playing Blue Luffy. So. All right. So this is Blue Luffy, actually. Those of you guys who don't know, Blue Luffy is a leader that when attacking with the Dawn on him, if he has 3 or less cards in hand, draw a card. Pretty solid effect. I think he's actually the best mono blue leader in the game, besides Nami probably, but Nami doesn't count as a real leader. And the guy who's playing it is one of the best players in Jacksonville. His name is Mark. He's one of our judges here, and he's just really good. He plays a very unique style, and I always really enjoy playing against him because I have a lot of respect for him as a player, and I think that he is very, very, very solid at this game. And then I go ahead and play, holy smoke. So I play double Pagaya, and then I trigger into a Shirahoshi, so I literally draw 7 here, guys. Draw 7, discard 6. So what happens is I trigger the Shirahoshi, activate her effect first, discard 2, draw 3, discard 2, and then I use the Pagaya's effect, draw 2, trash 2, and then I use the other Pagaya's effect. He's just telling me I can choose the order in which I sequence it, but I wanted to do, Shirahoshi's first. I was like, I already know that, Mark, but I wanted to do the Shirahoshi first. And I told him it was actually mandatory to do the Pagaya, which is unfortunate because sometimes I don't actually want to cycle my hand. And I'm just like, getting rid of 2Ks. But yeah, so I ended up drawing 7, trashing 6. And if I didn't have if I had a bad hand then, I sure as hell don't have it now. I mean, that's literally like cycling like Sakazuki, like you guys complain about Sakazuki cycling. That's a little bit of a crazy start right there. So then I go ahead and play a Miss All Sunday, obviously, and then I ramp a Dawn and use her effect to draw since I have 6 or more Dawn on my field, and I go ahead and pass. So of course he's going to go ahead and 3,000 Worlds and Miss All Sunday. I do think that he should actually. I'm sorry. He needed to do it first so he can get the card out of his hand to draw. I was going to say normally it's better to get the 3,000 Worlds after, but of course he needs to use his leader effect and whatnot. So correct sequencing right there. My fault, G. So then I go ahead and I take it. I just take pretty much all, I'm literally treating this deck like an L. I'm just taking all my life all the time because it just doesn't matter. It literally, like, I'm just gaining so much life. I swing 5 at the Boa, and he goes ahead and counters out. And then I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just drop Croc. I'll gain 2 life, or gain a life, and then I'll go back to 2. And it's on you. I got, 8 cards in hand. I'm feeling pretty good. If I trigger anything, I'm drawing and I'm cycling. I have 2, I actually get 2 Brules out of life pretty soon. And I don't use them because I actually had a pretty good hand. And I was like, didn't want to cycle anything. So I didn't use the Brules effect, even though it could have come in handy. The problem is I put 2 Pagayas down when it should have probably only been 1, because drawing 4 and trashing 4 sometimes just isn't actually ideal. So that was actually my mistake, is playing both when I should have just played 1. Because drawing 2, trashing 2 is perfectly fine, but sometimes if you already have a good hand, I don't want to cycle cards because I'm just going to draw into like some 2Ks or something like that, and I'm gonna have to make a really hard decision on what to cycle. So it's actually not as great as you might expect, but it still is fantastic into the yellow matchup, which is why I think this deck is such a contender right now. It can beat Cat, it can beat Enel, it can beat Sakazuki. It's gonna have a hard time against Purple Luffy, but it can beat Purple Luffy, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. think it's good, especially if we take their going first away. I think it does a pretty good job. So basically, what Blue Luffy does, for those of you guys who don't know, is he's gonna play either a ton of counters or a ton of blockers, and he's gonna play like how you would play Croc a little bit. So he swings 6 at life, draws a card. I use Croc's effect, draw a card, and then trash a card, and then I'm going to ramp Adon as active. I'm going to trash the Miss All Sunday, even though I actually wanted to use it next turn. And I 2k counter out. I accidentally show him the Yamato, and I'm like, oh, my bad. So I'm actually back at 8 Dawn again, and I think I play another Croc here if I remember correctly. I have 4 Yamatos in my hand, and I actually don't want to cycle these at all. And I actually swing 9 at life first because with his leader effect, I'm sorry, not with his leader effect, but I don't want him like. So he thrives off of basically discarding cards and then drawing cards with his leader effect. So if I swing 9s, then he has to discard a ton of cards with his leader effect, or I'm sorry, for counter rather than block. And if he does that, I feel like I'm winning anyway. He's going to go ahead and block, though, with Doflamingo because he doesn't want to counter that. So then, yeah, I go ahead and I play a Brule, and then I just pass. I feel pretty safe. I'm totally okay with going down to either 1 or even 0 life because I have the Yamato, and I have pretty much board control, I would say, right here. And yeah, I'm just not really worried at all. He's going to red rock the Crocodile right here, and I'm totally okay with that. He doesn't play 10 cost Kaido in this list, which I think is a little bit of a mistake personally. He plays a little bit of a different list than I would play if I played Blue Luffy. But, you know, I was worried about the 10 cost Kaido, but, you know, when I realized it wasn't coming and the only thing that, you know, he had to really kill my stuff was Mihawk and Red Rock, I felt completely safe because Mihawk, the only big guy that I play that is in Mihawk range is Enel, and I can just trash my own life to save him. So I was not worried at all about his top end, and he's basically like just stalling this entire game. So I think the 10 cost Kaido could have very well changed that and just established a body I couldn't get off the board. So he's gonna swing 6. He's gonna cycle his own 2 cards. Then he's gonna swing 6 with Boa, and he's gonna swing 6 at life. And I go ahead and 2k counter out of this one. I'm pretty sure I'm sorry, I block it because I didn't want him to get value off of like a Mihawk or something in the future. Plus I think I valued the 2k in my hand a little bit more because I think I was running out of 2ks. Believe it or not. I mean, I play so much counter in this deck, but you know, in this hand right here, I had the Yamatos and I had a bunch of other defense cards, and I wanted to keep them, so I don't want to cycle them out for more counters. So I was just fine, you know, blocking right there and taking a bunch of life. Then I go ahead and play Yamato, and I go ahead and I target the Mihawk because with the Mihawk, I thought he was going to be able to use it to cycle cards and try to find the Kaido. And the Boa, he's going to have a lot harder of a time to cycle the Kaido because obviously Boa, he needs 5 or less cards in hand, and he has to attack with the blocker with a Dawn on him, and it's only drawing in 1 card, whereas opposed to Mihawk is drawing 2 and trashing 2, and he's going to get closer to like more red rocks, and he's going to get closer to 10 cost Kaido. And if he had the 10 cost Kaido, then, you know, obviously this game would be a lot different. But, you know, I wasn't too concerned. So he goes ahead and plays a OPO1 Law, or not OPO1, but promo Law. And if I have 6 or more cards in my hand, I take a life. And he goes ahead and swings 7 at my life. And I go ahead and counter out of this one because I think he's going to Houndblaze here. And he goes ahead and actually Houndblazes here. And I was like, damn, I'm just so smart, bro. No, but I feel like I do a really good job of like playing around a bunch of cards that I should play around. So I don't know, like I pride myself on that. So then I play my second Yamato, and I go ahead and gain another life. I swing 5 at life, and he's going to go ahead and take it. I guess he just didn't have the counter in his hand, or I think he said he took it. He was digging for something. I forgot what it was. He was digging for, I don't know, like maybe a Houndblaze. I don't remember. And then I swing 9, and he's going to go ahead and just quad counter out of this, or try counter out of this. And what he's going to do is he countered out of this one so he can keep using his leader effect to cycle. That's what he told me. I said that felt like a little bit of a waste. I'd rather just not use my leader effect, you know, for 1 turn and, you know, keep 3 cards in hand or 2 cards in hand. But, you know, it's his life. So he's going to go ahead and red rock one of the Yamatos. So that's 2 red rocks down, and he can't play Miss All Sunday. So completely okay with that. And I'm going to go ahead and he swings 7 at life here. I'm going to go ahead and Blast Breath and obviously use my leader effect to get it back as active. So no need to, you know, do all the Dawn shenanigans. He knows what's going on there. So I Blast Breath out of the 7k, and then I think he's just going to attack. I want to say, is it another 7k or is it life? He attacks 5 at life here. And I go ahead and 2k counter out of that. I actually draw all 4 of my beiges, and they're not in my life at all. Then he goes ahead and drops a Hawkins. And I'm going to do the only logical thing. And I'm going to... Oh, my bad. I didn't actually have the other Yamato at this point. So he's going to go ahead and block and draw a card. And I had to read it. I was like, what does this do? I thought I just gained 1,000. Turns out it actually draws a card too. Then I'm going to swing 5 at life here. He's going to go ahead and take it. And then I'm going to go ahead and play... Okay, that was my mistake then, guys. That was my mistake. Because I could have just actually popped the... If I'm not tripping, I think I could have just popped the Hawkins right there and swung 9 at the Law. So that was my mistake right there. I didn't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention because that was weird. My fault, guys. Misplay. Yeah, play the Yamato first and then pop the Hawkins and then swing 9 or 10 into the Law. That's the best thing. I told him I accidentally tapped 10 Dawn to play the Yamato and I should have 1 left. He was like, makes sense. This is just showing him. I was like, yo, I didn't attack. I didn't put any Dawn on these guys. I should have this. He goes, makes sense. Pretty much, I'm in such a commanding position here. I'm just able to take life like just forever. So he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna make a decent play here. I think he's gonna Hound Blaze my last Pagaya. So no more filtering if it came to it, unfortunately. But yeah, so he's going to go ahead and Hound Blaze the Pagaya, and I was like, damn it, dude. Like, I actually really wanted that cycle. I don't know, just using that card just is so saucy to me. And then he goes ahead and swings 10 at the Yamato. Of course, that's an easy 2k counter out. Looks like I got some counter in hand still. I got like an L Thor I could have used, but I'd rather just use the 2k than the L Thor. And I'm just going to take all my life like pretty freely at this point because I just keep... Oh, he plays a Soka King, actually. Here's where he makes a little bit of a mistake right here, is he could have bounced the... He could have bounced the Shirahoshi back to my hand because he's going to play Luffy next turn, and I'm just going to choose to bottom deck my Shirahoshi. So he could have bounced my Shirahoshi. He also could have bounced his Law, making me take another life. Obviously, that would have been a worse play. And also giving me a 1k counter is a worse play. But I'm going to go ahead and take the life from the blue Luffy. He's going to play a Law, and he's going to pass. And I'm like, guess what, bucko? You know what's coming out? Another Yamato. And he is... He was getting so... Like, he wasn't, like, actually tilted, but it was just funny, like, playing... Bro, I literally played, I think, all 4 Yamatos, and I played, like, 2 Crocs this game, too. So I swing 9 at life, and he goes ahead and takes it. And I go 9 at life again, and he takes it. And I'm going to go ahead and just pass. I'm sitting pretty at 2 life. I got... plenty of life left. I got some cards in hand, and I'm just having a good time, man. This deck has been so much fun, though. I hope this video does well. My Blurple Croc video didn't do too good for some reason. I guess people weren't really interested in a set 6 Blurple Croc. But hopefully you guys will be interested in this video. I think I took a lot of time into obviously building this deck, making it good. And yeah, I just really believe in this deck. If you guys got this far in the video, you guys know that I won't post a video. I won't post a video of a deck if I don't think it's relevant, right? Like if like I'm not really like, I'm a channel that likes to have fun, but I'm not a fun channel. Like I'm not like Small Hat Crew where they make like basically One Piece comedy, right? Like that's not me. I'm more of a competitive edge kind of guy, and I don't know. It's just my thing. But if I can like make a meta, like a non-meta deck meta, that's more my style. So I go ahead and BM a little bit here, and I play Croc, and I just get another life and go back to 2, and then he goes, "You got it." So much love to Mark here, bro. He's always having fun with some cool decks at locals. When he plays like meta decks, he is very, very good, and is a contender to win every single tournament. These off meta decks, though, he built them to beat meta, and obviously this deck is not what he had in mind for what he would play. But guys, much love to you all. If you guys like the video, let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 6,500 subscribers, so couldn't be more excited to just continue this. I'm just having so much fun with the game right now, and it's only going to get more and more intuitive and better with the more cards that come out. So much love to you guys, and peace out.